You're listening to Iceland News Review, the weekly news podcast of Iceland Review. Subscribe and tune in each Friday to get the latest from our fair shores. I'm Andy Sophia Fontaine, and these are the week's top stories in Iceland. First up on Iceland News Review, will we whale or won't we? Vilhjálmur Birgisson, chair of the Akranes Workers' Union, is fairly convinced that there will not be any fin whale hunting this year. The Ministry of Fisheries has still not responded to an application from Hvalur HF, Iceland's last fin whale hunting company, for a hunting permit this year. Vilhjálmur told reporters that he believes it's clear that there won't be any hunting this year and questioned whether any company in the country could last under prolonged uncertainty as to whether or not they have an operating license. The application to hunt fin whale was filed on January 30th, and the hunting season begins in about 2 weeks. Vilhjálmur does not believe this is enough time to start hiring people, prepare ships, and get equipment in order before the hunting season begins. Last year, the previous Minister of Fisheries, Svandís Svavarsdóttir, issued a temporary ban on fin whale hunting on the day the hunt was to begin. This decision was made based on a report from the Food and Veterinary Authority that Hvalur's previous fin whale hunt did not comply with animal welfare laws. This ban was later determined to be unlawful by the Parliamentary Ombudsman. The current Minister of Fisheries, Bjarkey Olsen Gunnarsdóttir, hails from the same party as Svandís, the left-green movement, and has said that a decision will be made when the application has been processed. In related news, a new poll from Maskina asked respondents whether they support or oppose Hvalur being granted a permit to hunt fin whales this year. 34% said they would support the granting of a new permit, 48.9% said they are opposed to the idea, and 16.5% had no opinion on the matter. Presidential elections are in just over a week from now, and things are taking a very surprising turn. Businesswoman Halla Tómasdóttir had been languishing in single-digit support for months, but shot up to 14.9% last week, which put her in the fourth-place position. Things have changed in the week since then, and by that I mean she is now in second place at 18.6%. Former Prime Minister Katrín Jakobsdóttir is still in first place. However, Halla Tómasdóttir is barely ahead of political scientist Baldur Þórhallsson, who is at 18.2%. Energy Director Halla Hrund Lóadóttir, who seemed unstoppable just a couple weeks ago and was far ahead of the pack, is now in fourth at 16.6%, followed by former Reykjavik Mayor Jón Gnarr at 12.4%. But there's more to polling than simply asking who someone wants to vote for. A new presidential poll took a new angle on levels of support. That is, by asking which candidates respondents liked most and least, and differed significantly from the aforementioned poll on who people intend to vote for. This poll, conducted by Maskina, showed 60% of respondents saying that they liked Baldur Þórhallsson the most. He is closely followed by Halla Tómasdóttir at 59%. And third was Halla Hrund at 55%, Katrín at 46%, and Jón Gnarr at 42%. Of these top 5 candidates, Katrín was also the most disliked, with 40% of respondents saying they disliked her, while 16% said the same of Halla Tómasdóttir, making her the least disliked of all candidates. The most disliked candidate of all was businessman and perennial candidate Ásþór Magnússon, with 81% saying they disliked him. Only 5% said they liked him. An Icelandic man is fighting to have his name legally recognized. Just for a little background, if you didn't already know, Iceland has a naming committee. This committee judges new names that people want to enter into the Icelandic lexicon and has the power to either grant or reject proposed new names. Their grounds for doing so are based on a few factors, such as whether the name can be conjugated in keeping with Icelandic grammar, whether there's historic precedent for it, and whether or not they believe a child could be bullied for the name. It's that last bit that's the point of contention here, as an adult man wants to have his name, Hroði, legally recognized. Hroði was a name his peers in the powerlifting community began calling him, because when he was just starting out, his performance was, they said, hroðalegt, meaning awful. Over time, the man grew to embrace the name. The naming committee believes that if they allowed for this name to enter the lexicon for this one nan, some parents might name their child this, and the child in question would probably be bullied for it. This criteria that the naming committee uses is a contentious one and has been discussed in Parliament on many occasions. For the time being, however, the naming committee is standing by their decision. Scientists are still closely monitoring the situation in Reykjanes, but another eruption is now less likely than it once was. As reported, the eruption that began on the Reykjanes Peninsula of southwest Iceland on March 16th drew to a close on May 9th, But scientists were still concerned about the considerable accumulation of magma under Svartsengi, which is to the west of Grindavik. Even though that accumulation is now some 17 million cubic meters, Earth scientist Benedikt Ofeiksson of the Icelandic Met Office says that there is nothing indicating that another eruption is on the way. The rate of inflation has slowed down considerably, as has seismic activity. Moreover, he says, with every eruption, the geological situation changes, requiring more pressure within the magma accumulation for an eruption to occur. As with all things Earth science related, however, there is no 100% guarantee of anything, and the situation could change considerably, so stay tuned. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, released earlier this week and, in addition to already making a critical splash, is set in Viking Age Iceland. The long-awaited sequel to 2017's Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, also reportedly references Viking Age culture and Norse mythology. In addition to the landscapes already being described as absolutely gorgeous, the game developers Ninja Theory also took the effort to include Icelanders in the cast. These include Guðmundur Ingi Thorvaldsson, who also starred in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as well as Aldís Alma Hamilton, known for her performances in the miniseries Katla, and as co-creator of another television series, Svörtu Sandar. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is available on Steam. Lastly, on Iceland News Review, a Ferris wheel will be set up at Reykjavik Harbor this summer. This plan had been in the works for a long time now, with the city of Reykjavik asking for people to put in their bids for the project earlier this spring. In the end, it was the company Taylor's Tivoli Iceland that got the contract, unsurprisingly, as they already own and operate several Ferris wheels in the country. This particular Ferris wheel will be 32 meters tall and have 54 carriages. It will be set up at Miðbakki, which is the open area west of Harpa Concert Hall, where a skateboarding park currently is. If this is something that interests you, you do well to book your tickets now. This is planned to be a one-summer project, and after some time at Reykjavik Harbor, will be moved further inland to Klambratún Park. Next up, the weather this weekend. On Friday, there will be a yellow warning in effect for West Iceland, with heavy rains and high winds expected, starting in the morning and lasting through the night. If you must drive through that area at that time, please exercise caution. The rest of the country should see cloudy skies with scattered showers but far lighter winds. Come Saturday, things should improve considerably, especially in the northern half of Iceland, where conditions will be sunny, calm, and warm. The southern half will be cloudy, but also warm and calm, with some scattered showers in the southeast. As we move into Sunday, conditions will be warm, cloudy, and breezy for most of the country, but things will be especially summery in the northeast, with sunny skies, calm winds, and temperatures in the mid to upper teens. As for road conditions, bear in mind that all roads into the highlands are closed to regular traffic, so don't try heading up there unless you're in a glacier tour group or something similar. Apart from that, bear in mind Friday's storm warning, but road conditions all along the coast are otherwise fair. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or X. For all your travel needs in Iceland, be sure to visit n.veður.is. That's en.vedur.is, as well as road.is and safetravel.is. Through these three websites, you'll get up-to-the-minute information on weather and road conditions, as well as possible incoming natural events. By staying updated through these sites, you'll not only save yourself a lot of time and money, you'll also be able to enjoy Iceland with peace of mind. That's all for me this week on Iceland News Review. Be good to each other.